Okay, so we are 1 minute to draft time, and looks like some people are not auto picking and others are. Looks like it's about half and half, maybe a little more on the live draft side, hopefully, a little more on the live draft side. I was thinking about this a few minutes ago. Probably, to be honest, if you have a good auto pick list, maybe even scientifically that's better and you're more likely to get who you want on your team with only 30 seconds to maneuver per pick. I think it's 30 for it's 30 for the mocks. I think it's 30 for the official draft. When something only comes around on an annual basis, I have a harder time remembering some of the particulars of it, but I'm about to find out. And I'm not drafting until 11th, which means I have 2 picks in the top 14. So uh, I'm okay with that. I can't do anything about it either way. This is made possible by OBS. I downloaded it last night, watched a video about what I can do with it. Most of the video, anyway, one showing it's 26 minutes long, and I just basically wanted to grab it for the simple things. Oh my goodness, there have been surprises already. Sidney Crosby going first overall, Igor Shesterkin, Connor McDavid. Sidney Crosby, I think he has a high floor. I don't, until it actually happens, I'll have to see it to believe it. Like his drop offs haven't been that precipitous. He's still scoring close to what he was doing in his prime, but mind you, scoring itself in the NHL has come up since then. But still, with Crosby, you're probably looking at about 1.15 to 1.25 points per game, and he's solid across categories. Austin Matthews, fifth overall, man. People, if you're drafting fifth and you get Austin Matthews in fourth, or Draisaitl for that matter, you must be quite impressed. So I've queued a bunch of players for further down in the draft, but I've yet to queue anybody for near the top here. I'm looking now. I was going to say I was looking at Makar, but Makar just got taken. So Kaprizov is still available. Mikko Rantanen, Nikita Kucherov, uh, Alexander Ovechkin. Again, what I was saying about Crosby, I want to change this to the 2021-2022 real stats, though. Rantanen is dual positional. That definitely has some value, should be taken into consideration, along with the fact that one of those two positions is right wing. But I think what I'll do for my first two is maybe make a grab for a forward and then a defenseman, especially if Hedman's still available. Okay, so Rantanen was just taken, so Kucherov is there, Ovechkin is there. It's really hard to go against Ovechkin because he stays healthy as well. I'm going to take Ovechkin with the 11th pick in the opening round because the goaltenders as well. Vasi came off pretty early. Yeah, Vasi and Shesterkin was taken number 2 overall even before Connor McDavid. So I'm in an interesting league. This is not a mock draft. If I didn't say that right off the top here, this is official. So what I said about Alexander Hedman, I'm just looking. See Matthew Tkachuk though. There's Tkachuk and there's also Mitchell Marner. You know what? I'm actually, though he's going to a new team, but what's the drop off after Hedman? Now I'm going to take Tkachuk with my. Oh, I think I took Hedman by mistake. Okay. And Tkachuk will definitely not be available for me. Anyway, that will just, that's just going to change things going forward. It means that I have to look at right wing, I guess, a little more. Yeah, because I had Tkachuk. I clicked on his star to put him in my queue, but I didn't actually click on his name and take him. Although with the way that this draft is going, who knows? Maybe Tkachuk will be available. Sidney Crosby was taken first overall. No disrespect meant to, quite arguably the best player of the past generation, one of the best of all time. But he will be, he's 35 now. He turned 35 last month. And Father Time is undefeated. Brady Tkachuk. Even though I already have Ovechkin, if I can get Tkachuk, I'll consider myself lucky, obviously. Timo Meier as well. Gets Svechnikov ready, although again, I took a left wing in the first round. Just Ovechkin, reliable, mad shots. Doesn't shy away from hitting, and yeah, projected to get 156 next season. Had 155 last. He's going to be a power play staple, and again, even if his 50 goal seasons are behind him, like he just notched 50 last season. So even if I mean it's hard to see I guess what I'm trying to say here is it's hard to see him within a season dipping to below 40. He had a couple, at least one season where he scored in the upper 30s, but again, in that, I think you're going back to an era where like Jamie Benn won the scoring title with 87 points. I might have my seasons crossed there a little bit, but one of those years that Ovechkin ended up with between 35 and 40 goals, that was the case. Scoring was down in general. Tkachuk taken 17th overall. Matt Tkachuk. Alexander Barkov at 18th. Some people joining in, leaving in, joining again. I'm blessed with the connection over here in the big city. So, for some others drafting here, that might not be the case. So we're going to wait it out here for Pete's team. Pete has taken Steve Stamkos. Good pick. He got Stamkos 19th overall. Again, dual position. If Stamkos can stay uninjured, he brings a lot of value to your team. Actually, another thought that I had, something that I wanted to share, because I did in the mock draft about taking balanced players, and I think the value in that. I think that some people, and I'm not knocking how anyone else drafts. I mean, the highest I've ever finished in one of these things is second, so who am I to say? But just my general drafting philosophy is balance, because if you take one or two, if you say set aside a couple of players and you go, okay, I'm going to rely on these guys for my goals, and then a couple more players, I'll rely on them to get assists, and these, few for, I don't know, plus, maybe not plus minus, but shots and hits and so on. And then injuries occur, and suddenly you don't. So I like having players who can. Can really give me a chance to win every category. And if should one of them get injured, it's not a big drop off in any category. I guess is what I'm trying to say here. So I'm nervous for this too. This is weird. This is weird. This is weird energy, weird pressure. Is it possible that Pasta will fall to me? I shouldn't expect. I mean, come on, 35th. How is he not taken already? We're down to 25. Well, auto pick bait, JT Miller. I don't think that JT Miller is as bad a pick as I think some are saying, though, when he's overrated. I mean, even should his numbers drop off, I don't think the shots and hits will for him. So he gives you value in other categories, even if offensively speaking, he doesn't, he doesn't put up 99 points again. I guess, for lack of a better term or way of putting it. So Aaron Ekblad taking 26th overall, and Kyle Connor. Okay. And I've already got a left wing and a defenseman. There goes Pasta at 28th. That is excellent value. Dream Team Dream Team didn't take him. That is, it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel about the situation. It is what it is. I don't get Pasternak. So just going to stay content. So I guess my next pick, I'm looking at either Tkachuk, Meyer, Svechnikov, or Carlson. Leaning more strongly toward, I would like to have Hedman and Carlson both in my defense core. But I mean, if Brady Tkachuk is still available, even already having a left wing, it's kind of a no-brainer that I draft Brady. I mean, even if Ottawa sucks again this season and they don't live up to the hype that's surrounding them, another thought that I had was maybe I should just try to draft a whole bunch of really good players and just sacrifice plus minus from week to week. Just say, okay, you can have this category. I'm going to compete to win in the other 9. So that's another consideration that I've had, taking players. When 2 players are about evenly ranked, obviously, a tiebreaker, a determiner can be with the one that is on the better team. But who just went? Landeskog. Patrick Kane is gone. I had 4 highlighted though. Yeah, Brady Tkachuk. Okay, Gordy and the boys took Brady Tkachuk. I mean, again, I shouldn't be that disappointed. I should not have expected, even though there have been some strange picks in this draft, I should not have expected Tkachuk to fall to 35th under any circumstances. So I have Ovechkin, I have Hedman, and I'm trying to think now who's more likely to come off the board. Like if I take, for instance, if I take Meyer, will Carlson go? Or is it, if I take Carlson, is it more likely that Meyer could remain in case Svechnikov just went? Oh, okay. You know, I'm gonna take John Carlson. Mistakes that I've made in past seasons is and see like Timo Meyer is still available. So I have a quick glance here at some other players. Forsberg. When will I get to draft again? I'm not going to get Forsberg. But again, I need somebody to play on the right side. I do have 60 seconds. So Meyer, Forsberg. I wouldn't take Tarasenko before Forsberg. I could go ahead and take Morgan Riley because he, again, his numbers are pretty comparable to those of Carlson. Pretty similar stats wise. Riley actually hits and shoots a bit more. But anyway, and I'm probably letting him go. Okay, I have to. You know what? I have to take Timo Meyer. Yep. And I didn't do what I did there with Hedman when I was ready to take Matt Tkachuk. Now Tkachuk's going to have a monster season. Again, just to spite me. But I like having Hedman and Carlson on defense. Meyer, obviously, I would be surprised if he did anything quite approaching that of Matt Tkachuk, but not bad to have on the right side. Hits, again, even if the plus minus, I might just be punting plus minus from week to week. Ovechkin, you know, there's talk of Washington not doing all that well this season either. And if one believes that, then Ovechkin and I guess Carlson also might be in for a bit of a hit in the plus minus category. Hedman should still, I think Tampa should still be a real force to contend with. I would still consider them a Stanley Cup contender again until they can't do it. And I said that going into the final last season as well. I thought, until I actually see it, I'm not going to believe that Tampa will be eliminated in a series, even though the signs were there. If you want to be a big Henry hindsight and talk about how Toronto almost eliminated them and New York, getting the 2-0 jump on them, but see how Riley's gone. But again, now that makes me glad that I have both Hedman and Carlson, the fact that Riley is gone. I guess even though, again, they're similar offensive-wise, and Riley, if anything, you know what? Power play. Carlson a little bit better in the power play, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, the tumultuousness of Toronto and how, what bearing that has in fantasy. So this could end up being a pretty long video, 12 minutes, and we are at pick number 47. Later in the draft, they could start coming off the board. I'm wondering, talked about this before, Tarasenko, simply because right wing is really thin. I think in draft videos that I've listened to, and I'll fully admit, maybe I'm just way off base and I'm thinking too much about it, putting too much more into it than I should. Look at that. I just highlighted Anderson and he was taken. I talked about that when I was doing the mock, how sometimes I'm afraid to cue people because they get picked the moment that I do. It's like, oh, somebody's watching. This isn't live. This capture here of this window, but with OBS. But I'm just recording this, and so no, I don't think, unless I've been hacked, I don't think that anybody can see what's going on. They can't see what I see. So, not right away, not right now. Vlad Tarasenko, Philippe Forsberg. Because even though it shows here that I have, again, if this is being captured, then it shows here that I have two. Yes, I mean they have Meyer playing the left side, but I can move Meyer to right wing. So I'll get Bobrovsky, cute, since Anderson. Because again, healthy Freddie Anderson, Carolina should be successful, and that would have been a good pick. So congratulations, Tucson Troopers. You got Freddie Anderson in the number 1 slot. I didn't have a shot at Vasilevsky or Shesterkin. I know there's some talk on whether or not to take them in round one. I think certainly late in round one, they're good picks. And not only that, but if you take either of them, especially Vasilevsky, the track record for the past several seasons, you basically don't have to worry about goaltending for several more rounds. And I like that because goaltenders, this has been mentioned in on other channels and other videos as well, but there tends to be a real reaction. I want to say reactionary reaction. People drafting tend to be kind of reactionary. In other words, you see short story long, you see goalies go, and then suddenly everyone else is taking a goaltender because people get worried, like, oh, okay, this guy's gone. So and then suddenly within 6 or 8 picks, you've lost 6 or 8 goalies that were available. You see that with goaltending. You see several goaltenders taken consecutively. Chris Letang should be cute actually for me here. Again, healthy Letang. You're banking on his health, which is questionable. If you take him with great numbers last season. So Philippe Forsberg taken right before. And I don't have a center yet. I made this mistake during the mock, and I'm looking at Jack Hughes. But I'm thinking I can get Jack Hughes a little bit later on. I'm actually going to go right ahead here and take Chris Letang. I like having Hedman, Carlson, and Letang. And I mean, even should Letang get hurt, I still have Hedman and Carlson. So I don't have a goalie yet. I don't have a center yet, but I like my core top five here: Ovechkin, Meyer, Hedman, Carlson, and Letang. It'd be nice to get Jack Hughes later on. I also have some centers queued. That's right, to him up again right away. See again, Tarasenko, just because it could be my last chance to get a right wing of his ilk, although I am looking at Drake Batherson. What am I here? 60 second. It might actually be time to take a goalie in that event then. And I have 45 seconds. So Tristan Jarry is here. Connor Hellebuck. Yeah, there's really not much left actually for net mining. So I could be really scraping the bottom of the barrel. I feel like Jarry's going to have maybe the better season of the two. Hellebuck, I don't know, because Hellebuck zigzags and he's due for a zig. I think he's actually due, but it's really hard though. That contrasted with what Winnipeg looks like going into the season, but Hellebuck's been kind of up and down, but even when he's down, his floor is not that low. That's Korean Alexa in the living room. I'm going to draft Connor Hellebuck at 62nd. I guess it's the pride thing too. I look and I see the ADP for him is 70 something, and I just feel like, but I don't draft again until 83rd, so had to take Connor Hellebuck. Dave might be having connection problems. So again, we have Ovechkin, Meyer, Hedman, Carlson, Letang, Connor Hellebuck. There goes Tarasenko. Yeah, that's a good. So Drake Batherson. Let's get back to Drake Batherson. Okay. Oh dear. I don't trust Duchesne to get close to this next campaign. It'd be interesting to be proven wrong. Pavelski as well can play the right side. I do like Pavelski, and as can Line. So there is still value there. And again, Tarasenko, if he's traded mid-season, it's really hard to say. Sometimes that works out for the better, and players on a new team will, you know, produce a lot, I guess. Even significantly better than average for a spell, at least. It's how Mike Gardner was able to maintain that Mr. Consistency 30 goals a season streak in one of his seasons anyway. Like 6 goals in the final 10 games after a trade benefited him. A couple of trades benefited him actually for hitting 30 when he first came to the Rangers as well. My age is showing with that, but and then at times you can get like the hockey guy did the Thomas Vanek career video recently, which I've yet to watch because Vanek, even probably already at this point, it's like he was a Montreal Canadian, and he kind of was. So he'll be an example of someone going to a team, trying to load up at the deadline, and it just not working. But it would be at least moderately surprising if Tarasenko is not playing somewhere other than in St. Louis come trade deadline in 2023. So Buchnevich is gone. 83rd, I might just want to go ahead and lock up Pavelski for the dual positions. And I know he's not young, but I think, and of course there's the Robertson situation and whether or not Pavelski. I haven't heard anything. Maybe in the past day or so, I've not been following it as closely. So maybe something has happened, in the Dallas camp. But I mean, Pavelski, he didn't have Jason Robertson in San Jose. I know that's, lame and reaching, perhaps, but he, I just think he's going to get it done one way or another. And he plays center and right wing. You get hits with him, you get shots with him, power play time. And the goal scoring isn't quite what it was. I still think he's a lock for 20 to 25. They haven't projected here at 25. Inconsistent. He got off to a slow start, but in addition to balance, I prefer veterans to I prefer proven to unproven. So with that said, I might try to grab Lafreniere in the final couple of rounds if he's available. He'd be one of my picks to break out this season. Jack Hughes is still available. I don't have a center in Hunter's laptops. Oh dear. Hunter's laptop. Okay, so Laine gone 71st overall. David is joining and leaving. Jeremy Swayman is gone, who's actually available for netminder. I should keep an eye on that. Yeah, Jerry's gone. So we'll get Pennington ready. I like also going by conference when it comes to netminders. I like having one in the West and one in the East. I don't think I'm going to be so lucky here this time. Talbot in Ottawa. Until it actually happens, I'm a little suspicious of it. Again, I like proved over unproven. They look better on paper, but until they can actually get on the ice and prove it and get it. And I know they finished, I think the last couple of seasons now, they finished strong, but they need to be able to win in October and November and get off on the right foot, the right skate. Dave is back. Kadri's gone at 74th. It'll be interesting to see what he does in Calgary. It'd be funny if all along I wasn't recording this and I was just talking to myself for the past 20 minutes. No, it looks like I've been recording for 22 plus minutes now. I think I have everything turned up as loud as I can go. I realize I'm not working with an actual microphone, and so this is going to be pretty low quality. But low quality. What is that? That's I don't know, that's a meme in some YouTube video. Just some voice that's interjected. Some soundbite. Sure, I might be forced to take Bennington a lot earlier than I'd want to. It's the only thing I gotta look away. Okay, Pavelski is my next queued player. I like that, although I gotta start looking at defensemen again as well. Yeah. But I've got Hellebuck again. An uninjured Hellebuck's probably going to get 60-ish, maybe even 70 starts for Winnipeg. So he should be able to scrape 30 wins together. And I'm going to predict that he's, whatever he did in each category, maybe not more than 4 shutouts again. I think he can hit at least 9-10 save percentage. And he should be able to knock that goals against average down also. That's just my humble prediction ahead of season. Wow, 78th Samsonov. Again, strange draft. Burns? No, he's not gone. Okay. Shh. I would like to have Burns in addition to these three. But, wow. See, if Samsonov can go, so then can Binnington. Maybe I have to react to the draft and just take... Oh, yeah. I wonder if Point will fall. Okay, I'm going to take Pavelski. And maybe, I don't know, really, wow, 84th. So Point at 85th, okay. At least he's removing. Tried to say removed from consideration. That's my abbreviated way to say that. He's removing. Yeah, Brent Burns, let's have some fun. So I've got Hedman, Carlson, Letang, and Brent Burns. Who's getting my hits? Let's get Gudas ready. So now maybe I'll draft just for one specific quality. I'll try to get Gudis as the number 5 defenseman. I still have Shabbat, Dobson, Bouchard, Nurse, and Dougie Hamilton queued. Maybe I get Nurse as the consolation for not having drafted Jacob Trouba. In fact, full disclosure, maybe if I could have a do-over on picks, I might go and get. I might try to have Darnell Nurse fall to me. Wait, 107th. He's taken, I think, 98th on average is Nurse. Yeah, 98.6. So, but again, this is a strange draft, so I have to draft accordingly. Fingers. Oh, Bennington is gone, isn't he? He just went. Snap. Okay. Okay. I might be in trouble in goal. I had a weird feeling that maybe he would sneak by, but yeah, I could be in trouble. I think I need to just. I mean, I guess the options now are take a chance on Talbot, assume that Thompson will be the guy in Vegas and will at least get a lot of starts, even if the numbers, whether or not the numbers, his numbers bear out his being, a capable starting netminder. Vegas might be out of better options, at least to begin the season. Vanacek, but again, like Ottawa, I'd be banking on New Jersey, and there's a lot to consider there. The Devils themselves, Mackenzie Blackwood. I wonder between Husso and Nedeljkovic actually who's going to see the bulk of starts, the lion's share. It is what it is. That's some interesting font. So I don't draft again until 107th. Drake Batherson 93rd. Sounds like good value, but again, I can slot Pavelski in on the right side. So Burns had better have a monster bounce back for the Hurricanes on their power play one. See, again, I feel like if this were a mock, I don't know. I mean, again, I guess I would have the strongest. I've be willing to say I have the strongest defense of any of the teams thus far. Maybe I can get McAvoy further down as well. I'm not going to take any more than 5 defensemen though. So between McAvoy, Gudis, I have Neil Pionk, Josh Morrissey, Shabbat, and Nurse probably will be gone by 107, even though Shabbat's Yahoo ranking is lower. Do I take a chance on Talbot? Do I believe that Forsberg will continue to succeed in Ottawa? Hmm. Sorry, it's. What else can I guess go back over who I have in my queue. So, Rupe Hintz, Jack Hughes. Wow. And then Thomas Hertel, Trocheck and Eriksson Ek for ideally for much later on. Mangiapane, Alexei Lafreniere, Tanner Janot. Again, especially maybe if I don't get Gudis and I decide I want to compete to win it hits. Heiskanen, I'm not even sure if I had him queued, but good pick. 99th. Torrey Krug, Krug probably will see. Actually, the St. Louis defense I'll queue is Justin Falk. Just, probably can never have too many guys queued. Lindholm for October and November, but hopefully it doesn't fall to that. I mean, I already have 4 defensemen. I really need to get out of defense altogether. Look at all players. So, Tavares, if I can get him 107th, wow, I'm actually glad that I went back to have a look at the fact that he is still undrafted. Scheifele also for the consistency. And yeah, there's Tavares, but then there's Tavares in round 9. would be something. Stutzla's gone. Again, until he can actually do it across every category, it's hard. I'm skeptical. I know that some, yeah, maybe it's because I'm not getting any younger myself, and I know that some youth will be well served, will be fine. There goes Tavares, 104th. Okay. I just need forwards. If he's available, I will take Jack Hughes. But again, I have to remember goaltender as well. Yeah, I'm going to take Jack Hughes, though, if he falls to me. A little more upside there even than Scheifele. And Scheifele, of course, right now with the situation in Winnipeg, which I drafted Connor Hellebuck, so I should not be too concerned about. But I guess maybe just don't throw all my eggs into the Winnipeg basket. Okay, Jack Hughes, sure. So Pavelski and Hughes. And okay, here I think is where I just need to suck it up and draft a goalie. Because again, some of the forwards I've queued, I look at who's available right now, and while there are some good players, I don't know if there's anybody here that's significantly better than guys I have at the queue and in the queue and can take later on. And any defensemen right now are just going to be competing with my top four. So back to net we go. Allmark may get more starts, but Francouz might have better numbers. And then Talbot just to have a regular. You know what? I'm going to... Oh, dear. Francouz. And hope that I can get Allmark next time. So I have Hellebuck and Francouz right now. And again, I would like to have one goaltender in the Eastern Conference as well. So there is that, Casey DeSmith, who does seem to play better whenever Tristan Jarry's hurt, but you can't bank on an injury. You can't bet on an injury. But see the reaction. So I took Francouz, 2 picks later Talbot, 3 picks later Thompson. Just stay away from Allmark, please. Owen Power. See there again, I mean, he could have an incredible season. Buffalo could finally put it all together and put some wins together this season. But until they actually do it. Thomas Chabot at 115th. That's, again, I feel like I'm in a draft right now of players who signed up but have not been mock drafting or not following any of the fantasy stuff that I've been admittedly following. Even though they're careful to say almost as a disclaimer that you should trust your own projections. So I project that Francouz might actually be the number 1 netminder in Colorado. He might win that number 1 starter's job. Let's say see 45 starts or greater this coming season. And by I project, I might mean I hope. Anyway, Allmark is queued. Hints because, again, I can move Pavelski over to right wing. So I think there's definitely value in taking Rupe Hintz or Thomas Hertl. Trocheck and Eriksson Ek would be great to have as number 3 center. McAvoy is still available. But again, number 5 defense should be lower priorities. I won't say the same about number 3 goalie because I think Allmark and Francouz, the play there might be just to have. So probably going to be Allmark because after Allmark, I just think there's a steep drop off. If I can get Allmark, fingers crossed at 131st, I've talked myself into taking this right away. And that way, should Georgiev win the starters crease in Colorado and get the Lions' share of starts, I have Allmark to fall back on. Hopefully again, because that obviously could go to Swayman and Boston if playoffs are any indication. But if they were any indication, then Swayman could end up being the undisputed number 1. But I still think that Allmark is... he shouldn't be ranked as low as he is, but maybe I'm going to benefit from that here. Husso, okay, so if not Allmark, let's have a fallback. Vanacek. Yeah, wow, somebody took... no, there he is, Nedeljkovic. So one of these 3. I mean, Ronta, should Anderson get hurt, Ronta could put up solid numbers in Carolina. But again, even I just never like to even for netminders that are frequently injured. I don't know. I don't like putting that out there into the universe that, oh, you should never hope that somebody gets hurt. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to play that kind of hope game. So we're 34 minutes and 122 picks in now. David's definitive team here with pick number, and he just joined, so he's watch him leave now. He just had to come back to get Josh Norris. Yep, interesting, interesting. I wonder why. Tanner Janot taking 125th. Wow, wow. Somebody I'm going to queue up just for late in case a lot of wings start dropping is Taylor Hall, especially until and Hall's the type of player you might. I think if you get him, you might keep him for October and even November, and then after that, with Marchand's return, maybe Hall loses value, and power play time, but power play one time. But it remains to be seen. Jim Montgomery could have his own ideas. And I don't, again, I'm not looking preseason. I just, I'm sure if you want your finger on the pulse of what your team is doing in camp, I hear a lot of hype around Slafkovsky and I want to believe it. But an even greater worry is that Shane Wright is just going to go and have a ridiculous rookie season for the Kraken. And wouldn't that be the old Doug Wickenheiser, Denny Savard all over again? Or, for that matter, to give a more recent example, Kotkaniemi and Brady Tkachuk. Yep. So Linus Ullmark, don't mess. See, even now I'm tempted to go, wait a minute, maybe I can get Hints and then Ullmark. But if I can't get Hints, maybe Hurdle might end up having the better season anyway, save for his plus minus, which again, there's no guarantee in Dallas. Plus minus is a team stat more than an individual one. I don't like it, but it is in these Yahoo default leagues. Anyway, I've talked about Hints enough, so that's going to be my pick here. Number 2 center, technically, again, Pavelski and Meyer are my right wings, which reminds me that I need one more left wing. That gets a little deceiving here, the Yahoo positioning. So let's look at pure left wings that are still available with the time we now have. Veronik, if you can play a full season, could bounce back. These could be a little misleading. He's projected, 29 goals, 50 points, 165 shots. Palat, again, it depends on how New Jersey deploys him, but good for shots and hits. Kempe as well, I find it a little weird. I guess we're really banking on this being kind of a career year for him. And of course, Kevin Fiala now playing for LA, so that could have some bearing on projections for Kempe. But so Mangiapane, I mean, it feels weird to take him already, but his ADP is 160th, and I take 155th next. So, or I'm up next at 155. So Gudis is gone. Rob Thomas went. I'm going to take Nedeljkovic out of the queue. I guess nobody took Vanacek. Maybe I can sort this a little bit here. So we'll put Hall up with David Perron, Tyler Bertuzzi, Alexei Lafreniere, Andrew Mangiapane, and then I still have Hurdle, Trocheck, and Eriksson Ek to pick from for centers. Yeah, I think maybe in spite of me and not because of me, this has turned out pretty okay. Hellebuck, Francis, and Ullmark. Again, I said this the last time with the mock, but I'm not, this is not ideal, but I'm not entirely unsatisfied here with my team. And again, defense, maybe this is an overreaction. This is an overcorrection. I'll fully allow that in the past, some of forwards and just some of their juicy stats, I guess. And I've called my team here the juicy rebounds. It is a funny term. Anyone who's not into hockey nomenclature, juicy rebound is it's just a funny phrase to run by people that are not aware that it is a hockey phrase. Anyway, so that's going to be my team, the juicy rebounds. And yes, some players, some forwards have juicy stats that make them a little bit more tempting to take early than defense, even though forwards that still have juicy statistics will fall further in the draft. So I don't know why this is I mean, again, 38 minutes now. We're on pick 146, and okay, Jake Sanderson. Wow. Keandre Miller is an example. I last time talked about this in regards to Jacob Slavin. Miller is, I think I mean, he's only going to get better as well, for all the talk of Adam Fox and I guess Jacob Trouba in New York. I think, if anything, maybe Miller is even a little underrated and overlooked. He's an outstanding offensive defenseman. Sometimes the edge is a little sharper than I think it needs to be, but I think he is a stud defenseman. And yeah, on an actual team in real life, real life hockey, hey, let's throw a team together, pick up, rink out, back. All other things being even between our teams, if I have Miller on mine, I like my chances. But, Lafreniere went 150th. That just reinforces the notion that I need a Mangiapane. Next. McAvoy is still available. But I mean, again, McAvoy, you're drafting for December. Still, if I get McAvoy in addition to the 4 defensemen I have, if he's available at 158, I'm going to take him. But I have a feeling that as a reaction to Piant coming off the board, that we might see a splash of defensemen now. Just, that pool could begin drying up again. Let's see what Jesse's great team does. He's got 30 seconds. All things given, I should have known as well that you get the full 60 seconds. That's really good, though. That's kind of hot cold effect. In the mock, you're given only 30, and so you get used to making your pick within 30. I also like to be Seamers Leakins. Full disclosure, I'd not even considered him. And if so there you go. That's just an honest oversight, and I apologize to the hockey universe and Elvis Merzlikins, because again, if we're to believe that Columbus, even if they just compete for a playoff spot and they miss it by a little bit, there's definitely excellent value to get him 153rd, and then Bunting went 154th. So Mangiapane, because if I see him go 156th or 157th, I'll be upset. And then McAvoy, if I can snag McAvoy, just because I think I can put. Oh dear, he just didn't. Oh, what happened? No, I unstarted. Okay, he's still there. So McAvoy, because I can put him on IR. I do think at 158th, this is a valuable pick. And I really like Josh Morrissey as well. But again, I'm not going to take 6 defensemen. So out goes Petrie, out goes Morrissey. I like McAvoy for defenseman number 5. And I can probably get somebody. I assume that Petrie and Morrissey will be drafted, even though there are only 32 picks left. But I'll just look to get somebody who does good in preseason and looks like they will at least start the season hot. And again, I'm talking about a number 5 defenseman, so it's not like I have to replace anyone, at or near the top of the lineup. Trocheck is gone. That is a good. Where did he go? That is a good. Unless I accidentally took him out of my queue. Gostisbehere, yeah, Trocheck 143rd. Okay, so I don't draft again until. Yeah, I have 2 more picks. I mean, goodness, if I can between Hurdle and Eriksson, and I should actually, because again, Pavelski's going to move over to the right side, so my only pure center is Jack Hughes thus far. So with one of my final 2 picks, I'll definitely have to take a center, and then Taylor Hall. hard to say. Let's look. Who's been overlooked? Clayton Keller. Again, if you just want to punt plus minus, he doesn't really hit much though. Lucas Raymond. Holy smokes! If he again, I would be just throwing plus minus. But the only thing though, I mean, this is so bad that this can bring down your. It can bring down the rest of your roster. How is Hurdle still available? I mean, again, I'm not saying that he's going to be an all-star or anything, right? He's no John Scott, but just like 100, we're at 168 right now. I like me some David Braun. I mean, if I look, maybe I should consider, yeah, I was going to say a Meyer, my second left wing, Mangiapane, and then take David Braun. I know he's playing in Detroit, but he just, Vegas, St. Louis, he just kind of produces wherever he goes now. And yeah. Oh, Raymond just went. Okay. So maybe it is Perron. And then either Hurdle or Eriksson Ek. Dylan Larkin. Again, he's still available. Lundell could see a bump in his sophomore season. I think it'd be hard. He's got quite the core of forwards to compete with in Florida. Don't know if Duclair's injury could factor into. It'd be interesting to see actually, because again, Paul Maurice to see what, and I don't follow it too closely, so maybe I'm saying things right now that if you're listening to this and you follow Florida, you know something like more closely than you know something that I don't. Blake Wheeler, 167th ADP. So again, this is conclusion. This has been kind of a strange draft. Carter Hart. I mean, you never know if he and Tortorella can click, and you never know. You never know. Maybe he gets them playing in a defensive shell, and I mean, though he's not Barry Trotz, but see, that's the thing with Sorokin. I guess maybe that justifies his high rating. I know I'm wandering now, getting off into tangents, but this is 46 minutes long now. But with Sorokin, even if he doesn't win much, I guess maybe justifying his high Yahoo ranking is the fact that he should still have a good save percentage, good goals against average. Even if the Islanders end up losing a bunch, it should be a whole bunch of like 3-2, 3-1, 3-2 defeats, and 4-1, 4-2 sort of thing, and one of those goals is an empty netter for the winning team. So that yeah, that's, I mean, I didn't take him, but I guess I'm trying to justify the value in addition to the fact that he's just very talented. Perron is gone. Shoot, do I really want Tyler Bertuzzi that badly? Why not Troy Terry? 37 goals. I mean, he doesn't hit, but and he's playing in Anaheim, but or Carter Verhage. So average numbers and great team, or above average in Anaheim. But for goals, so I guess this. Okay, so I'm up. Yeah, Pavelski will play on the right side. Okay, I'm going to go number 2, number 3 center. That's going to be the play here. So Hurdle, just maybe a bit of a higher ceiling than Eriksson Ek, but I'm going to say it right now, and it might age poorly, but I think Eriksson Ek is going to, I'm going to say even maybe get close to a point per game this season. And I have 5 defensemen, yeah, because I took McAvoy. Okay, so my final pick, even though they're asking for a wing, is going to be Eriksson Ek, Joel Eriksson Ek. And I'm happy. So again, for my center now, it's really with center and with goal, I basically have it by committee here. I think I have Hellebuck, Francouz, and Allmark, and so Francouz and Allmark kind of combine maybe to be my. I mean, I guess that's not an ideal situation that you're counting on 2 goalies to give you the equivalent of a second starter. Of course, goalie is really hit or miss as well, because you get that minimum 3 starts, and then sometimes if you elect for starts beyond that, your numbers can go up or down. Your save percentage could go down, goals against average go up, but so that could negatively impact your categories. But back to center as well. I mean, now with Hintz, Hurdle, Oh, whoops. No, I screwed that up. I should have taken a wing. Okay. Okay, I have too many centers. Hurdle, Eriksson. Would anyone be interested in a trade? Hurdle, Eriksson, Hughes. Yeah, that was just an oversight that I want to say I would not have made if I wasn't talking to a camera. But to be entirely honest, it's entirely possible that I still would have. Someone finally took Taylor Hall, uh, and that's maybe who I should have taken. Just for right now, I should have taken Taylor Hall. Maybe he was taken before Hurdle. Yes, no, he was. Okay, so Taylor Hall wasn't available, but still, even Tyler Bertuzzi for the time being. Uh, but still, I mean, I have four wings if we're counting Pavelski. And I guess I just have to decide whether to drop Hurdle or Eriksson. Or we'll see. I mean, who knows if I can compete and win with four centers and not enough players on the wings, then maybe I just go with it for a while. But yeah, and again, this is not a mock. This is my official team. So even Tyler Toffoli in Calgary would have been a good grab. So we'll see who shines in preseason. And not that that should be an indicator. It really should not. But yeah. Still, I feel that I could have done worse here. I like my defense core. Uh, I like the veteran reliability. Now, some of these guys probably, between Ovechkin and Pavelski, I could see one of them dropping off. But anyway, this video is now 50 minutes. This is close to an hour. So, yeah, this is so obviously I've actually figured out now how to. I'm not even good with the jargon, with the lingo. How to have my screen appear, just my monitor, just the window on this computer appear in a YouTube video. So anyway, thank you to thank you for wow. This is harder than when you have a game in front of you, I guess, and you're the dialogue, not really dialogue, it's one part, the monologue, the talk is directed. It's guided. It's a little bit more guided than it is here. But anyway, yeah, thank you for any time and any consideration you give to this video or any other like it on this channel. And that's my team. That's Juicy Rebounds Volume 1, because I think in another week I'm signed up for another draft for a team also called the Juicy Rebounds. And yeah, I'm going to have to go shopping for a wing. But again, I don't know who I drop. Maybe I drop McAvoy and pick a wing. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Bye for now.